What is going on, everybody? We have a new addition to this customer's truck. Here is the new Banks M275 rear differential cover. We're going to show you guys how to put this on your Ford Super Duty and the benefits of using this on your rear axle. All right, guys, let's check this out. What is going on, everybody? Thanks for coming back to the channel. Make sure to drop down and hit the like and subscribe. Big shout out to Banks. We are running Banks products, and if you guys have already seen the Banks ram air filter video, the quality on that product, here we are underneath the Super Duty, and we're going to put a new cover on its booty. This is the M275 rear differential cover. Some of the first things right off the rip, we have this lovely sight glass right in the side of it. You guys can visually see what your fluid level is. We have a convenient drain plug. Thank you, thank you. We have a convenient fill plug. Thank you, thank you. And they even put their little name on there. Hey, I like that. And now we have no more silicone. We have a press-in rubber gasket that goes all the way around the perimeter, and you can see how that sits in there. There's no gasket sticking up or anything. I've already went ahead and prepped this with brake clean. There's no oil or anything on here, and this is ready for installation. Now, one of the things I want to really point out is, so when this is mounted to your truck, this is what you see on the backside. But envision your axle right here, and you got your drive shaft coming out. Look at these two big cups right here, just grabbing air from underneath the truck and transferring that cooling to all of these heat sinks, which go through on the inside too to help keep your rear axle fluid cool, and in turn your rear axle. They even have a port here if you want to put a temperature probe in there. Let me know in the comments right now if you guys would be interested in running a temperature probe in your rear axle. Hell, the GT500, Shelby GT350, they all have rear axle temperature sensors. I think that would be kind of cool addition to add on. Maybe, I don't know if that's something you could watch on your Banks iDash or add a gauge or a sensor to it, but whatever. This is a very nicely machined piece of aluminum, and we're going to start by draining the truck. We're over here underneath it, and right off the rip, I want you guys to notice, to be prepared, we have 12.13 millimeters all the way around, and these are going to have Loctite on it, so you are going to have to use air or really get a long breaker bar, because you're going to have to use some oomph to break those loose. So to fill the M275, we have a fill plug right here on the rear diff cover, but our drain is the centermost bolt right here. So I am going to get this loose. We're going to start draining the fluid while this is leaking. I'm going to go ahead and remove all of the bolts except for this top one. So I have a little pivot hang, and I'm going to go ahead and get my flat blade screwdriver and gently pop this cover off, and then we'll get to the next scene. All right guys, so now that I've gotten all the bolts out, except for this one, you guys see how far that one's out, I'm gonna be able to crack this seal loose, get the cover jiggling. I'll hold the cover on, unscrew this top bolt, and then gently take the cover down, and we're gonna see the ringing pinion and all the fluid from the pig just kind of collecting in this valley here in the diff. All right, I actually see a little gap or a split here in the metal between the diff and the cover. I'm just using a hammer and a flat blade screwdriver. You see it's already sticking in there. I barely even hit it. So this is gonna spread this. You're gonna see more fluid start coming out. Probably start leaking here. Okay, I can hear the change. I can hear the silicone busting right now. So here it comes. Keep this straight so it doesn't run down the screwdriver. There we go. Just giving it just a little pry here. I heard some people on my diff replacement fluid videos that I had a while back. A lot of guys were saying that they use a putty knife. You know, you can do that too. Really, whatever you can get in here that's thin and isn't gonna damage the metal. You wanna put something that's gonna, you know, mar the surface up, because we're not using silicone anymore. We're gonna be using a gasket. So we just wanna make sure we're gonna keep all those surfaces free and clear. So she's loose. I'm taking the last 12 point bolt out here at 12 o'clock. Here it is. I'm holding the cover on. Now this vehicle has 34, almost 35,000 miles. This is its first diff change. This is original fluid from the factory. This is the M275. Let's get my light on here, see if we see anything foreign. Wonder why that's kind of on an angle. Kind of weird. But here is the electronic locking diff. Here's your wire that's in here. It goes through the diff cover. You guys can see that right there. So if you have the electronic locking diff, just like in the video we were talking about, you do not need to add fric mod. Check it out though. This is a hot off the road. Metal's just warm. She's been sitting here for maybe about half hour. But this is the little section here I was telling you where fluid will sit. So either try to get it out by, you know, using your finger and flushing it down to the hole, or get, you know, a rag and start soaking up some of that fluid. Right now I can see that there's a little piece of silicone in there. So you might need to get a little pocket screwdriver and get this little piece of silicone out. Right, where is it? Maybe I'll just push it through the hole. Let's get it out this way. Here it is. A little piece of silicone was stuck in the hole, so now my drain hole is completely clear. So if you just keep pushing all the fluid out like that, see what I'm doing? It's kind of, this metal's soft back here. It's not jagged or anything. It's not catching my finger. But that's pretty much it. Get all the fluid out. Now this is going to continue to drip, so you have a couple of things you want to do. We're going to need to clean this surface, right? But if you guys are going to be using a grinder, I recommend you cover your diff with some rags so you're not getting any material in there. But right now, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to scrape out all the silicone out of these holes. I'm going to clean all this, and we're going to get to the part where we're going to be getting ready for installation. All right, fellas, that is gonna complete the cleaning. Now I'm gonna wipe the whole surface down with brake clean. Let's get some. I'll give this one more wipe before we go to put the cover on, because this is gonna continue to leak a little bit of rear axle fluid until that lower bolts in. So we'll just give it one more final wipe before we install the cover. But yeah, just gonna go around and wipe this whole thing. You guys saw me move the line, brake line. Go ahead and clip that back in. Super easy to do. You guys can do this in your driveway. Just make sure you're on a level surface. Make sure you got your wheels chalked. Make sure you got some shade. Make sure you got some tunes going. All right, fellas, that is going to be our final preparation for the cover, and we will get the new 6-point bolts ready. Our gasket is already pressed into our cover. We'll get the cover and we'll show you guys how to install it. All right, it's diff cover time, and if you guys remember the BS bolts that they gave you from the factory, well, Banks was so kind enough to come back to the old 6-point 13 milli. So they have supplied some Loctite for us to use. I'll just set these up here. Gonna put these on all the bolts. Okay, all of our bolts have Loctite on it. I'm gonna get these up here where I can easily grab them. Now I have prepared the area. I did use the metal surface prep just to get it that much cleaner, even though we're not using silicone. But remember, this hole was our drain hole, and we want to make sure we don't have nothing draining as we're putting that new cover on. Now this cover only goes on one way. Only goes on one way. This is it right here. Gasket is totally pressed in. We're fully clean from debris. Okay, we are on. What I'm going to do right now is hang the cover Okay, these are all 13 mil. Now that tag that we had right here, we're not going to be able to put on anymore. So if you guys want to have all of the stuff from your truck, from the factory, you know, keep that tag maybe with your bolts that came from your original cover. Just doing all of these very loose. You want to say finger tight, even though I'm not using my finger. Getting them all started. What do you guys think? What's your first impressions? What's your guys' first impressions? You guys like it? I like the fact that it has a sight glass. I think that's way cool. I like the quality of the bolts. The bolts look very beefy. Now, if your bracket here is touching the diff cover before I took the old one off. I bent that bracket up by hand just a smidge. Just kind of bend that out the way. Last bolt. Okay, all the bolts are started. I'm going to start at the middle. Hammer down, baby. I think that's all of them. Check that out, you guys. That is fucking badass. Banks, not only do you make the sweetest big ass filters, but right now this cover, this is a must for any 6.7 Power Stroke, Super Duty for that matter, owner that is looking to better handle their cooling of their diffs. You guys got to check this cover out. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure, well, this is tight, but I'm going to make sure my drain is tight. I'm going to go back. I'm going to make sure all hand tight. They're all nice and snugged. And we are going to finally add our fluid. Banks 100. Amsoil, you guys rock. These bags are the bomb. Why hasn't other companies followed suit? I'll tell you, come on. Why would you want to not fill your diff or transfer case or any other gear oil with a quart bottle? This is so much more efficient. All right, guys, it's filling time. We are going to be filling the diff up. I might as well just go ahead and open up all these. Well, I'll do one at a time, I guess. Fill hole. Look at that. Why would you not want to fill this any other way? Banks, you guys are awesome. This excites me. Just not any of this diff oil going onto me. I can see it going past the sight glass. Got about half of the bag gone. Just rolling it down. I'm gonna keep these actually. I can dump the Motorcraft fluid into this bag and not have a headache trying to fill what I'm trying to fill. Okay, next bag. Okay, this is the third bag. Man, filling this diff has just been an absolute joy. Not one, I mean not one freaking drip. That is what's up. Freaking awesome. Fourth bag, last bag. Looking at that sight glass. Should be getting pretty close. Just folding the bag. There it is, fellas. 4 bags. Complete. Halfway full on your new Banks M275 rear axle cover. Banks, we appreciate your products, we appreciate your packaging and your attention to detail. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, sub, share. Check out the description. I'm going to have the links to everything below. And what are you guys doing for your 6.7 Power Stroke? We'll see you guys. See ya!